impacts of climate change already affect Burkina Faso directly, but experience has helped forge a lesser-known resistance to the issue. Like many others, Yacouba Sawadogo uses the wisdom of his ancestors, which has enormous potential to help rural communities adapt to climate change. The Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation, CTA, recognizes that there is no need to reinvent the wheel. The importance of indigenous knowledge, therefore, should not be underestimated. Yacouba has transformed some 40 hectares of previously bare land into a forest of 90 species of trees, many of which are used in traditional medicine.
Mamenga la kalma mali, mjinde ni sheik namba la walimbo. La mamle bwa ya tinga kawa mamana commerce. Manda commerce halu sidi wata ligde soma to manda gmille. La mangya sambale tinganga wa sama to kuma kimali ki Burkina Faso neba fazote. To mamile neba han sama am la hanzota. Namba o yamni hanne kitum de joyi wan mam jipele pu jipele me lamdi kuntum pam yama lam pam dibo ba debo kobaga wa sigima mam tan ya libindi.
His secret? The Zai, an approach developed in West Africa to recover degraded land. 40 years ago, Yacouba began to experiment and adapt the method to his own country's climatic conditions.
Now as you pay the coin, never parate, the windy topal. Yes, coming of that cow for 10 years. The most of when pattern will come. Only way go far, I eat out. I eat a pale. Sent to Mala Wanda, some Patuma the Wanda. But I told me to a cutting an hour, no camera. There were no camera voodoo. To me killing yak petty numbers. Carly told him make of a little.
The Zai approach involves constructing small, rocky barriers to curb water runoff, allowing the water to seep into the soil and thus preventing erosion. Holes are then dug into which fertilizer is put before seeds of trees and cereals are planted.
Tondi yana tise yoro kan kinga mali lo to ida kabay simple jiu la bamba ti ya tie ba la bamba ya kan tipta adam bi hiya ta pa kemte ka fa ya tie la bo mi mbal ti kan nan tipya ba.
Despite the backlash, Yacouba did not hesitate to share his knowledge, which has gradually spread throughout the Sahel region.
Tonde ye jula ko fan ton likita man bangle fu nampam bangle tonde le hopa 20 ke makade nepe intenganga wuto orka fu paniya nga so tenganga solba wawo di shumo mti du tenganga tuba po yemur hentar yaman soy tenganga sol bawo latamati gunsh tenganga le maniga le nakse ta ya bumbu hum patwendisa arje kam patwendisa la tenganga.
Today, 72-year-old Yacouba Sawadogo is training others to take up the mantle. This morning, he takes 2 of his sons for a tour of the forest.
Yamba pamiti valeri e parce que yamba ne tie valeri ya masma ya rawa. Ya pating bonde tia valeri tia bangda yura banga han tipida banga bile hum tipida yela banga tia tar valeri se mi tuna kile bewo modoge shil tia rundo tfona ambasa bumbu pata yod hum patwenti.
This and other forms of indigenous knowledge are crucial in the fight against climate change. For agriculture to receive sufficient backing, political and financial, to meet this challenge head-on, it is time for the voices of indigenous knowledge to be heard in key decision-making discussions.